Hello, Gemini. Welcome to your December 2018 general horoscope reading. Okie dokie, tarot in hand, shuffling away. Gemini, can you believe that we're at the end of the year? Like, wow. Drop me a comment below. Just let me know, what are you proud of? What are you proud of with 2018? What you're leaving behind in 2018? What you accomplished in 2018? And what are some of your goals and ambitions for the new year? Share away, Gemini. It is going to be an awesome year. There's just so much in the last couple of years and the next couple of years especially, happening in the stars with the planets. It's just amazing. So let's get into the astrology for December here. So the first day I want you to look out for, Gemini, is December 6th. Your planet Mercury moves direct. Okay, so good news. The fuzziness will be gone. Communication will become clearer. Contracts and any contract signing or delays that have happened will be clearing up with this energy. It's been retrograde in Sagittarius. And, so at the beginning of the month, you might still find yourself kind of wrapping up and reevaluating the mental activities that you might have going on that have just been really excessive. Overdone. Excessive. That's kind of the shadow side of Sag. So, what are you just fixated on that no longer serves you that you need to drop? That's coming up so you can really resolve that. And then once it moves direct, you might really find yourself looking at some big picture goals. Being a lot more future oriented, especially moving on into the next day, also December 7th, because it's a Sagittarius new moon. And this energy is so future focused. Excuse me, Gemini. I've been getting over the flu, so my voice and everything is still coming back. Bear with me. But this new moon on the 7th is so optimistic. And Gemini, wow. Sagittarius is your polar opposite. So this whole season is very much about your relationships and partnerships. Whether that be business or personal. And this new moon in particular, for all of us, is really bringing up, where have you been too bored maybe with your routines? And specifically for you, maybe routines within relationships, within partnerships. Habits, routines that just need to be disposed, that are boring, that aren't doing anything for you. So what new adventures, new experiences can you welcome in? Woo! The Sagittarius energy is going to help you find those. And even you might find yourself taking on some new studies, some new learning. This energy is great for that too. So a lot of that can develop around the 7th. The moon is conjunct the sun this day too. So it speaks of just so many creative windfalls that can come about around this time. Love it. Love it. So adventurous and light. It's awesome. So, all right. And then the 21st, I want you to look out for too, Gemini, because we have the sun entering Capricorn and the winter solstice. Of course, with the solstice, it's the longest night of the year. And so it's really symbolically, about honoring the darkness, celebrating the rebirth of the sun. And, that's symbolic and metaphoric for yourself, your inner world. Embracing the flaws and the dark spots that you have with your character. And knowing that the light will always return. It is always dominant. The joy, the positivity, all that. And so, it's quite the power day, of course. You know, moving into Capricorn season, it's bringing a lot of our attention to work and career, and where we are being opportunists or not being opportunists, and really pursuing. You might find yourself really getting disciplined and pursuing a lot more, almost obsessively. So, you know, that's just kind of that energy that's lingering around there, but a lot can be accomplished with this energy, especially when it comes to work or just within your community, you know, your public reputation in your community or in the world in general. So, now, Gemini, the next day you want to watch out for is the 22nd, the following day, because it's the Cancer full moon. And this is a beautiful full moon. It's at home in Cancer. So it's a lot softer, you know, sensitivity and emotions are really high with this moon. Mostly in positive respects, really. But, you know, as always with full moons, sometimes, you know, it can get a little much, a little overwhelming. But it's such a natural placement for the moon. It feels really good. It's really asking you, what is it that you're nurturing and mothering? What needs more of that nurturing from you? And it's really bringing, you know, affairs of the home and your private life to the forefront here. Domestic affairs, okay? So you might feel yourself, see yourself, you know, focusing more on that, more those issues and whatnot coming to the forefront. And really find yourself and other people, your partner, being able to just share more of your vulnerable space with each other. Get really intimate and really deep about how you feel. You know, so this energy, I mean, it's like a whole new level with this full moon. So, you know, it's really good for getting raw and getting to the heart of some things. So it's awesome for that. Last day I want you to last day to look out for, Gemini, is the 31st. We end with quite the fascinating energy of Aries moving into Mars, or Mars moving into Aries. It's natural home sign as well. Okay, so, you know, there's a lot of harmony going on in the sky this month. And so, it's going to give you like this burst of energy, Gemini. And this burst of energy is going to help you just move into action mode of getting things done and accomplishing. And, you know, just moving into the new year with just a action-oriented mind. So it's quite fascinating. If you don't have any particular projects or anything of that nature that you're working on, channel this energy maybe through some exercise. You might find yourself wanting to do that anyways, just to get the excessive energy out, because this does speak of, you know, a lot of energy, and you don't want to pin that up for the sake of your health. So, Gemini, let's go down and look at your cards while I get you just one little card from the Sacred Traveler Oracle deck here. We're going to get a sneak peek at what your 2019 year ahead looks like. Oh, all right. Oh, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and give you both. You got two. All right, we'll touch base on these at the end of the reading. Sorry, that's my dog whining in the background. Okay, Gemini. So, interesting pairing you have going on here at the top of your reading. You have Judgment, which popped out in reverse, with the Two of Wands. Okay. So, a lot of you, Geminis, coming from your Mercury retrograde, there's a lot of sort of new information that has made its way to you surrounding spirituality and even the afterlife. You know, going as specific and deep as the afterlife and your viewpoint on spirituality and the afterlife. And that is being radically transformed. Your eyes are really being opened to a completely new perspective. Almost like your polar opposites perspective, you know, this month here. With the Two of Wands showing up there, it's like, bam! Let's look at the broad horizon here, you know. Let's look at the other side of things. That's what I'm getting here for a lot of you Geminis. Yeah, I'm getting, you know, with Judgment being reversed too, a lot of sort of dark thoughts coming to the forefront at the beginning of December for a lot of you Geminis. And this can denote a lot of sort of just doubting and upset, anxiety, a little bit of depression even. Because, you know, a lot of this is just pointing to that uncertainty of what is it that I believe with spirituality, or something about your spirituality is really being challenged and you're like, oh my gosh, what I thought I knew isn't true, or isn't what I believe anymore. You know, so some epiphanies that are a little uncomfortable coming to you. But, you know, how can you really open yourself up to this and accept this, Gemini? Well, you look at the broad view of it. You look at the expansive view. Just don't focus in on the little things and the little details. Take a more broader view of the situation, of your spirituality here, of the afterlife. You know, if that's something that you're really sort of getting into and debating here. Taking the broad perspective is going to help you out and bring you a bit more peace. But definitely some expansive epiphanies coming to you as soon as your planet moves direct. Wow. So up next here you have Death and then the King of Wands. Okay. So Gemini, some of you are really going to be pushed to have a discussion, have a real heart-to-heart with a manager, with a leader, you know, whether that's in your community, whether that's at work, you know, your boss, someone who's an authority figure in your life. You're having to have a deep heart-to-heart with them. And you're having to confess some sort of ugly truth. You know, whether it's something that you are already aware of, or something that ends up upsetting you here in December. There's a real deep and somewhat uncomfortable conversation that's coming up for you. I'm not going to lie, Gemini. And it could be with a fire sign, specifically here. And so it's about, there's a big transformation that is going on for a lot of you Geminis in your relationships and partnerships this month. Big transformations and transitions from how you've handled things before, especially when it comes to like dominance in the relationship, how you handle, or how the other person handles, how you perceive dominance and being in charge when it comes to relationships. And this includes business relationships and intimate relationships. So, that is really coming up here. And there's like this face-off, because they're both looking at each other here. And so there's this face-off that you're having with someone this month. And it's, like I said, ultimately, it's just going to be really transformational. And it's about getting real deep. This is very deep and passionate energy right here. Passions are high, but this is something that needs to happen. Conversation, and that Cancer full moon could really be bringing out some of that passion, So, of course, just be careful that you don't overstep your boundaries too much here with this relationship, because, but there is some cleaning house that's happening there. And that cleaning house is going to feel good in the long run. So up next you have the Seven of Cups and the Page of Swords. Okay. Some of you Geminis might find it really healthy for you to dispose of some old health habits that aren't working, perhaps some old sort of supplements, or dieting that you figure out is no longer really wholesome and fulfilling for you. That's kind of coming up here on a health note for you. So, really finding out, I'm getting with the Page of Swords showing up right here. It's like you're getting more facts about some of your health here and some of the dieting or things perhaps that you should be doing in regards to your health. So there's something more that you're learning here in regards to that is clarifying some things and having to cut some things out too with the Page of Swords. Cutting some of those things out that aren't doing very well for your body. And that's good. Also, you're going to have some options this month, Gemini. Some of you are either choosing between a new place of work with this pairing. Okay, new job, or simply picking and choosing the creative projects that you want to spend your time doing. Okay, so you're really getting practical and evaluating what is going to be best for you here towards the end of the month. And taking action, taking action and making a decision, because, there's a lot of options showing up here for you towards the end of the month, Gemini. So that's, options are always exciting, but sometimes it's a bit overwhelming, because then you have to get, you have to really ask yourself, well, what is it that I really need? What is it that I really want? Is this job or is this project really going to give me the payoff, or just give me the satisfaction that I'm looking for. So you're really looking at that big time here this month. Beautiful. Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and look at your oracle cards, all right, for your sneak peek at 2019. So you have two. You got Mystic Healer. Healing energy flows through you. Okay, and then we have Narrow Pathway. Tread thoughtfully. Boom. Okay. Wow, this is going to be quite the turning point year for you, Gemini. You're going to really be asked to be careful with some of your decisions and some of your words in 2019. There's going to be a very sort of focused and specific pathway that your guides are inviting you on. And it's almost like there's a little bit of resistance with it going on here, and some healing, that you need to do first in order to move forward on that new pathway. So, it's really in order to let go of some of that resistance, which causes, some problems sometimes. You want to look at what needs to be healed. Going into 2019, you're getting real spiritual and deep here, Gemini. And some of you are, getting into the healing arts. You might be getting more into astrology or crystals, Reiki, natural healing, or, just stuff like that. And that's awesome. That's going to be really beneficial for you. I'm getting here with Narrow Pathway, Tread Thoughtfully too, that it's take your time, with this new endeavor or with the healing that you're being given, that you're having to cope through in 2019. Give it some time. Tread thoughtfully, tread step by step. Healing is, it's very focused. There's a very focused thing here that you have going on. And so, give yourself the time to focus on simpler things, just one or two things instead of a whole lot of things at once. You see what I'm saying? So, quite the energy, Gemini. And it's like I said, it's a really brief sneak peek here. We'll get into more details, of course, in January. So, Mystic Healer is so magical, too. I just love this card. Yeah, energy practice is showing really big for a lot of you Geminis. So if you have been thinking about getting into any kind of energy practice or learning, now's the time. And, the other message here with Tread Thoughtfully before we go here is not everyone is going to understand your path, your decision here, Gemini. And, that's okay. And it might feel a little lonely, it might feel a little secluded, like you're the only person on that path, especially in the beginning, but you're not. And it's going to be very beneficial for you. in 2019. But there's definitely quite the spiritual turnaround starting to happen for you Geminis. Quite fascinating. All right, thank you for joining me, Gemini. So I have some awesome new content coming here in 2019. I'm going to be doing full moon fables. Those will be coming up soon, so subscribe to my channel so you can stay in the loop about that. And also my new videos, they're going to be how-to monthly love challenges. They're all going to be focused specifically on love and relationships, partnership, and the challenge that Spirit has for you that month in order to better benefit you and help you out in that department. So I have a specific deck for it. It's beautiful. It's awesome. Can't wait. And if any of you Geminis want to do a personal one-on-one reading with me to look at something, Etsy shop is below. Get in contact with me there. And if you'd like to just connect with me more on social media, my Facebook and Instagram are in the descriptions box below too. So Gemini, that is it. Take care this month, and I will see you very soon. Have an awesome one.